Hi everybody, Emily from Booknote Literary Services here to talk to you today about using tags in your fiction writing. A little bit of a review, what is a tag, what's it used for, how to use it and how not to use it, all of which are very important. I do talk about this in an article more specifically on my blog, which you can find out through my website, www.booknoteliterary.com. So anyway, what is a tag? A tag in fiction writing is basically an identifying marker. I like to think of it as tag, you're it. You're on the spotlight. It's your turn to talk. A tag is an identifier. Who is speaking? He is speaking. Or so a tag is basically, best way to remember it, the he says and she says. Now, when do we use he said, she said? How often? How little? How much is too much? And how do we get creative and not just say he said, she said all of the time? So, first thing, he said, she said is probably the least noticed in a reader's mind. So if you're going along with the flow of your plot and you're in a high action scene or a big argument scene, so when you have a he said, she said, or she said, whichever, wherever it is, that's the least intrusive to the flow of the book, that quickly reminds the reader who is speaking, and also it doesn't make you have to stop to visualize. The word said is just like a common statement. It means to speak. But if you were to say he contemplated, or he suggested, or he demanded, when you hear the word demanded, suddenly that changes in your mind how they're speaking. Now they're speaking with insistence and maybe aggravation or assertion. So instead of just he said, which you don't have to put any thought into, it kind of rolls right off you, you'd say he demanded. That changes a little bit what you're visualizing, so it slows you down just a little bit. So for the most part, you stick with he said, she said, but I do believe in, agree, and like adding in some more creative ones that can amplify what's happening. Just the change of the tag can give a hint toward how the conversation is happening or what's happening. So if you say she screamed or she screamed out blah blah, you can detect that there's something terrible happening. She's frightened, she's afraid, she's freaked out, and she's angry, versus she said, oh my god, what's that? Oh, instead of she screamed belligerently, what in the hell is that? So the point is there is a difference in the tag. So tags that aren't just he said, she said can be used to sort of bring a little bit more visualization, to draw the reader in, to kind of tell you what's happening and how is it happening. But so I have 3 methods for using tags as far as placement, and you can learn about this more on my blog. It's the leader method, the follower method, and the sandwich method. I'll give you a quick little snippet. The leader method, you think of a leader coming first, is when you put the tag before the sentence. So he verified, or he communicated, or he said, comma, how's it going? So the tag comes first. So he yelled, stop what you're doing right now. It comes before the dialogue line, okay? The follower method is when the tag comes at the end of the dialogue line. So if you're going back and forth in an argument, let's say, you want to keep that flow going. So by putting the tag at the end of the sentence every 4th or 5th line to remind the reader who's speaking, it doesn't slow it down. So for example, if there was a back and forth argument, and then 4 lines down you have a he groaned out, what is going on here? That slows you down, gives you a little breather before you start the next round of 5 lines. But if it was snap, 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 what are you doing? Well, this is what I'm doing. Back and forth, and then you occasionally put your tag at the end of the sentence. So I'm just simply not going to do that. She confirmed, or she clarified, or she said. That would be the follower method. The tag comes following the sentence. And lastly is the sandwich method. I use this far less often, but I do use it. It's when you have the tag with a little bit of an action or description in between 2 lines. So, for example, you start the dialogue line with Jesse speaking, in quotes, I don't know what I'm going to do about this disaster. And then you'd have, out of quote, comma, he grumped, kicking boxes around the house. Then you continue. This is just too much for one person to deal with. So the sandwich method is the tag comes sandwiched between 2 dialogue lines in a reader's mouth, before you go on to the next person speaking. And the benefit of that is it lets you slip in a little bit of action, a little bit of setting, a little bit of something to make you visualize what's going on. So you have to remind the reader, what are they doing when they're talking, and how are they acting, and what are their tones like. So sometimes changing your tag is useful to get these little bits of information in. So anyway, use them about I like to go about every 5th or 6th line for a tag, especially if it's back and forth dialogue. And I vary how I use it. I'll use a follower. If it's a quick pace, high intense one, I always put it at the end. I use more of the follower method. I use the leader method if it's coming right after a narrative blurb. If Jesse sat there pondering how he was going to deal with his life when he has a warrant out for his arrest and he's been in and out of AA 3 times, blah, blah, blah. And then suddenly he starts speaking again. You say, he leaned back and said, whatever. That's when I might use the leader method. And so I try to vary them up. I try to make it creative, and I just try to make it easy for the readers to read, but make it have a purpose when I use tags. So check out my blog. You can go to my website, www.booknoteliterary.com. Check out my blog link from there, and you can learn more. Feel free to drop me an email, which you can also find on the About Me page. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great day.